Welcome to practice. My name is Selena Garofino. If you're enjoying these classes, I invite you to become a YouTube member and help support me staying in the studio delivering these classes to you every week. I also invite you to head over to my website where you can receive a free 5-day restorative yoga journey, as well as access to tons of courses, programs from 200-hour to 1,000-hour teacher trainings, and invitations to transformative retreats all over the world. Thank you so much for being here. For your practice today, I would encourage you to have a towel or a yoga blanket or two. I always like to have a block. If you don't have one, I have been known to use a thick book, and I have a yoga strap. And again, if you don't have props, that's totally fine. You'll be able to do the practice beautifully with or without. I want to talk today about how we steward things. And we are going to practice giving our most devoted attention to the simplest of actions in the body, and our devoted attention to our breathing. There's a line in a Zen text that says, "Maintain an attitude that tries to build great temples from ordinary things." The way in which we steward the small things in our lives translates into the way in which we steward the big things. And I'm playing a lot in my own life right now with how I approach with devotion, attention, and care things like paying my bills, doing things that I don't necessarily like to do, that I hum and haw over, and instead coming at them with the same level of grace and tenderness and generosity that I approach things that I love to do, like teaching these classes. When we start to treat every single thing as worthy of our devotion and a care, there's less of a polarity and a divide in our life. And when you take care of everything, when you're devoted to taking care of the small things, those become the bricks that set the foundation of stability in your life. And then everything is the element of stability. And then everything feels generous and tender, even when it's not so much fun. The Zens teach that instead of lamenting and complaining, to bring the same joyful mind. And I'm not saying that's easy or that I've in any way mastered this, but it's very good practice to start to see every moment as something holy. The Zen say not to lose sight of either the absolute or the practical, but instead to hold both of these ideas simultaneously in ourselves, in the way we move and the way we act. My invitation to you today as we move through these movement patterns is to really be in it, to treat every down dog like it's the first time with reverence and care, to feel your feet on the ground and touch the earth like you are giving it a kiss. All right, let's begin by sitting up on a towel or a blanket if you have one, just for a moment with our breath before we start to move. So get yourself right on your perineum, again with attention and care. And organize yourself meticulously so that the crown of the head can lift and rise, and there's a real wave through the spine. And rest your hands on your knees and slightly lengthen your chin towards your chest so that there's a sense of connection to the earth below, and then a real rise through the crown of the head. And then widen your collarbones east and west so that there's some real spaciousness there and you can receive your breathing. And then either lower your gaze or close your eyes. And for a moment, just attune to the sensation of the breath traveling up the nostrils, descending down into the belly expanding soft. And that little sense of the pelvic floor gently lifting and rising as the breath moves back up and out into the ocean we all share. Just a couple simple breaths like this, acknowledging, feeling, landing. Devoted attention, building a temple out of ordinary things, something so ordinary and everyday, and yet so miraculous, the breath. Very good. Now take your arms up in the air in the shape of a V, an equilateral triangle for strength and structure and stability. Wrap your armpits towards your heart and make cups in your palms. So when grace is raining down, you're ready and available to receive it. Lift your chin a little bit. We're going to pump out a Kapalabhati breath to build a little heat in the body. So as you exhale, you're going to pull your abdomen back and force the air out of the nose. And when you relax the abdomen, breath will flood back in. Go at a pace that's appropriate for you. Take a nice deep breath in, and let's begin. Keep going. Out, 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 out. You're welcome to do this a little slower, a little more deliberately. Again, our mission today is that we would have devoted attention and care. So try not to let it get sloppy. Put your mind in the breath. Be the maestro of the mind and the maestro of the breath. Out, out, out. Just for about 20 more breaths. Good. Exhale completely. Take a deep breath in. Hook your thumbs over your head. 3 more little sips. 1 more little sniff. And now hold your breath completely full. Pressurize everything from the bottom to the top. And then exhale, pop your cork fingertips to the floor. Just feel the ground for a moment underneath of you. And then flutter the eyes open. And let's come to all fours. You can set the prop off to the side if you are using one. And coming to all fours, let's get really meticulous here. Plant your hands underneath of your shoulders. If you have a block, you can actually measure behind the wrist and make sure that you've really got that 90-degree angle. And then find it 90 degrees at the thigh so that the knee is directly underneath of the hips. Plant your palms, a soft spread of the fingers, so you're not overly gripping the floor, but just, again, tenderness and precision. And then inhale and round your spine. And exhale and arch your back. Start to pump the breath. Spreading the feet on the mat, broadening the collarbones as you back bend. It's sort of a Bastrika's breath or a bellows breath. Forceful inhale and exhale. And again, do your best to not let this get sloppy, but to refine the breath. In, out, giving it a tempo and a measure, holding the form. Good. Pause at the center of yourself. Take a nice deep breath in. Curl your toes under and come up and back to downward facing dog. And then give yourself a moment to pedal through your feet. And this little action that you do in probably your class every day, can you maybe even slow it down and feel? Feel one heel descending towards the earth. Be really precise about bending a knee into the chest. So it's not something mindless. You're not checking out of the body of the building of the body, but instead it's fully attentive. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, get your sitting bones nice and high, come up on the balls of the feet, and take your gaze ever so slightly forward. Very good. Walk your feet forward to your hands now. Coming into your first forward fold, measure 2 fists between the arches. Again, so much precision. And then bend your knees out towards your armpits and take opposite palm to opposite elbow. And here too, once again, be super precise. Try to get the elbow all the way into the mitt of the palm of the hand. And if it doesn't fit today, do it in your imagination. Widen your sitting bones by pulling your feet apart isometrically. So it's like you were trying to tear the mat apart, and feel what that does to the back of the pelvis. And then drop your attention back into the breath. These hangs are really difficult. They're super challenging for many of us. How can you bring your devoted attention, your nurturance to this shape? How does it shift the experience when you sit down to pay the bills with a sense of gratitude and with the same level of care and attention that you would give to buying something that you loved or a precious gift for someone you cared about? One more full breath here. Very good. Drop your hands to the floor. Bend your knees deeply. Let your head hang. And spinal roll up nice and slow. Throw the knees forward, then the thighs, then the pubic bone. And rise to stand nice and tall. Again, find precision here. Draw a line in your mind from the big toe ball of the foot to the outer heel, from the baby toe ball to the inner heel. Lift the arch, lengthen your tailbone, broaden your collarbones. Inhale, take your arms wide and up. And then exhale, trace your prayer hands through the center line and fold over your legs. Inhale and take your heart forward, long spine. And exhale, step to downward facing dog. Nice and precise. Lower down to your knees and then shift forward, knees, chest, chin. Good. Pull yourself forward, press the tops of the feet down, small cobra. Good. Up and back to child's pose and up to downward facing dog. Again, a Katonah style down dog, so bend the knees, buttock bones high and wide. A real wave through the spine. Watch the flow of the breath. Good. Step or float to the top of your mat. And inhale, take your heart forward. Exhale and fold over the legs. Push into your feet. Nice flat back all the way up to stand. Circle the arms up. Touch your palms and draw your hands to your heart center. Again, nice and precise here. Feel your 2 feet on the ground. What generosity can you offer to this moment? Take a deep breath in, sweep your arms up. Trace the center line and fold once again. Inhale and halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, knees, chest, chin. And pull forward, small cobra. Up and back, down dog. I like to bring my seat to my heels in between. And land right away, reforming the down dog with the same tenderness and care. A pose you do all the time. What new vision can you bring to it? And last time, look forward and step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, heart forward. And exhale, fold over your legs. Big breath in, rise all the way to stand. Hands to your heart center. Trace the center line. Good. Inhale, take your arms up. Trace the center line and fold. Inhale and halfway lift. And exhale, back to down dog. Pause in the down dog. Again, find that 60-degree triangle. Fingers pointing forward. Lift your right leg high to the sky, keeping the left knee bent. Really push through the ball of the right foot. Cross-reference your right hand to your left foot. Good. Bend your heel to your butt and then shift forward and step your right foot between your hands. Get your knee right in your armpit. Walk your back foot in, pin the heel down, and now start to straighten your right leg from the ball of the foot to the buttock bone. Crawl your fingertips forward. Lengthen the front of the spine. And again, think you're bringing your left hip around and lift your right buttock bone up and back. Nourish yourself with your breath. Notice where your attention has gone. And in what way can you bring your devotion to this moment? Very good. Plant your hands and step back, down dog. Come forward to plank pose if you wish. Chaturanga if you wish. And upward facing dog. I like my toes curled under. And back to down dog. Take your left leg to the sky. Keep the bend in the right knee. Push through the ball of the left foot. Cross-reference. Left hand to right foot. And then with care and precision, heel to your butt. Shift forward and step your left foot between your hands. Walk your right foot in. Right toes are pointing out a little bit. And then straighten your leg from the ball of the left foot to the left buttock bone. Take the right hip around. Lengthen the whole front of your spine. And then get clear and precise in your breathing. Very nice. Plant your hands, downward facing dog. If you wish, take some kind of vinyasa, landing in down dog, and then bend your knees and look forward and float your feet to the outside of your hands into malasana. And if you need a prop here underneath of yourself, or you need to step forward, of course, honor your body, have devotion for your physical body and your needs. Bring your fingertips to touch. Push your elbows out into your knees into your elbows. Lift the chest a little bit higher. Nice smooth breath. Good, and now push all the way up to stand. Take your arms up to the sky, pivot your feet forward, heel toe them hip distance apart, and then fold from your hip crease and grab your big toes with your index and middle finger. Inhale, take your heart forward. Exhale, fold over your legs, bend your elbows out to the side. 2 more breaths here. Very good. Release your big toes and then bend your knees, sweep your arms back behind you like sort of a ski jumper pose or a little drinking bird, and float up onto your toes. Soft smile. Descend your heels, push to stand, arms up. Now pivot on your heels, open the toes out, and squat once again. Very good. Okay, lower your seat onto the floor. Bring your knees to touch. Grab onto the backs of your thighs. Paripunanavasana boat pose. If you wish, straighten your legs. Lift your chest, soft smile. Good, re-bend the knees. Hook your elbows on the outside and just rock side to side for a moment. Okay, listen, we're gonna stand up right here, and that is challenging. You can use your hands if you need to. Otherwise, take your hands forward. The closer your heels are to your bum, this will be a little bit easier, and you're gonna float up right onto your feet. Again, you can use your hands if you need. Push all the way up to stand, and then take your arms back down next to your side. Whatever happened there, a little gentle smile for yourself, for your effort, for the humor in falling over, for the generosity that comes with having a body. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Hinge from your hip crease and fold back down over your legs. Inhale and halfway lift. Good, stay right here. Take your left fingertips out in front of you under your sternum. Bend your left knee, take your right hand to your sacrum, and then start to pivot your chest to the right. And then take your right arm up to the sky. Nice big opening. You might even flip your right palm towards the crown of your head. Good. Right fingertips to the floor, both knees bend. Right hand under your sternum. Bend your right knee, left hand to your sacrum. Go forward before you twist, and then left arm to the sky. Open your collarbones. Nice big breath. So good. Both knees bend, both hands down. Very nice fold over your legs. Sigh out your mouth a couple times. Shake out your head. Just let it go. Really nice. Flat back all the way up to stand once again. And bring your hands to your heart center. I'm going to turn and face the long edge of my mat. I'd invite you to do the same if your floor is slippery. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Relax the tension in your shoulders that might be present. Again, a little soft smile can help. Bring your hands to your heart center. Bend your knees, bum back into a little squat. And now pick your left foot up, right up into your chest. Good. I'm going to take my left leg and cross it behind my right, nice and slow, in a sort of little baby curtsy squat. And now this left leg, right back up into my chest, and step it back out and squat. Nice and slow. Right leg up into your chest. And now thread your right leg behind your left, a little almost curtsy squat. Right leg back up into the chest. Step it on the ground and squat. Left leg to chest. Cross left leg behind right. So precise, so tender. Whatever happens, lift it back up. Squat. Good, keep going. Set a focal point for your gaze, for your drishti. Use your breath. You can speed it up a little bit if you want. You might even let your hands get a little more dramatic if it feels good, playing with the arm position. Finding stability in our ankles, in our legs, so important. Couple more sets. Whatever pace you're going at is absolutely perfect. Remember to breathe nice and steady. Last set. If you weren't warm yet, maybe you are now. Good. Come back to the center and just pause. Take your hands loose at your side and start to swing. Let the back of your hand swing to your opposite kidney. Gently. What devotion can you offer yourself and your body? What if your practice wasn't about constantly overriding sensation or even improving, but some days it was pure devotion? Come back to the center. Trace the backs of your legs and fold. Grab onto the backs of your heels if you can. Bend your knees a little bit towards your armpits. Crown of the head to the floor. Smooth, even breath. So good. Trace the backs of your legs, come all the way up. Heel toe your feet and step to the top of the mat. Inhale, take your arms up. Hinge from your hip crease and fold. Inhale, half lift, heart forward. Exhale, down dog. Very good. Some kind of vinyasa if you wish. And then lower down to all fours. Sit back on your heels and swing your legs around. We're going to do one of my favorite, I've been doing it for 20 years, little practices. Might not be your favorite. Take your feet out in front of you. Paripurna. You can take half boat, full boat, whatever's appropriate for you. Lift your chest. Good. Now bring your feet together, knees open wide. Baddha Konasana. Fold forward. And if you have props, you might need to move them out of the way. Take a moment here. Good. Sit up. You can use your hands to assist. Paripurna. Gentleness, precision, tenderness, devotion. Okay, we're going to take our feet out wide now. Upavishta Konasana. Wide leg forward fold. Fold it down. Be kind to yourself. Just go right to your edge. Place that feels stable, supported, tender. Good. Walk yourself back up. Paripurna boat pose. Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees open wide. Fold forward. Lengthen the front of your spine, come back up, boat pose. Wide leg forward fold. Again, please use your hands if you need to. Support yourself. Every day is so different. Good, one more set, please. Come back up, boat pose. Naveen always says, know what to remember and know what to forget. Later, you'll remember how strong you are, and you'll forget that this was challenging. Soles of the feet together, knees open wide. That might not be true, but it's a good idea to play with. Fold forward, Baddha Konasana. Lengthen the front of your spine. Receive your breathing. Good. Walk your hands back up, boat pose. We're almost there. You're doing so good. Wide leg forward fold. Upavishta Konasana. Melt the heart forward, lengthen the front of the spine. Gorgeous. Walk it back up. Last time. Boat pose. Maybe even squeeze the legs a little closer to your chest. Get a little more meticulous. And then bend your knees. Hook your elbows on the outside of your knees. A little rock side to side. Very good. If you have a prop, grab it. If you've practiced with me before, you know I'm quite keen on everyone getting up on their perineum on a blanket, getting the pelvis higher than the knees. Extend the legs out in front of you. Bend the knees to pull the pelvis forward so that there's a real wave in the spine. Inhale, take your arms up and fold forward. Reaching for the heels, knees towards armpits, and then you can wiggle your bum back if you wish. Melt the crown of the head. Three more breaths here, nice and steady, lengthening the whole front of the spine. Some area of your life is beckoning you into greater levels of devotion. For me, it's my administrative tasks. What kind of loving care can I bring to them? Lengthen the front of your spine and come up. The truth is even those tasks, like paying our bills and administrative things that might not be some of our favorite things to do, they're the things that allow us to live and allow us to take joy in other things. And they too are deserving and harmonizing if we make them so. Okay, we're going to come down on our back. Take your towel or your blanket. This will be our Shavasana pose. And make a roll. And that roll is going to go just underneath of the tip of your scapula. So you're going to drape yourself back into a very subtle, a little back bend. And you can take the arms to goalposts or out to a T, whatever you wish. I like my feet a little bit wide. And then just allow the front of the chest to expand. And it's a weird cue, but it helps me as metaphor inside. Think about expanding the back of your heart. Receive your breath, belly soft. And as you rest here for just, maybe 2 minutes, can you bring your devotion and your attention just to watching the breath? Just giving yourself another minute here to receive your breath, to practice holding devotion and attention to these very simple actions. We can't despise the day of small beginnings or the ordinary things and the efforts that need to be made in the course of our lives. Taking care of all of those functions and things allows us to practice in the most stable way. Again, taking care of all the little things with devotion and care are the bricks that we lay of our stability. The Zens ask us to keep our mind on our work. And so my question is, what is it to bring your devotion to everything rather than complaining? Can we handle things with the greatest care and attention? And in this way, To quote How to Cook Your Life, allow things to function as a whole. I invite you now either to stay in Shavasana, or if it's time for you to conclude your practice, to roll to a fetal position on one side, supporting your head with your forearm, your elbow. And then when you're ready, gently pressing yourself to a seat. As always, I'd encourage you to hit stop on the video in a moment and to stay in your meditation seat for 5 to 20 minutes if you can. Otherwise, bring your hands, prayer hands in front of your face, bow your chin. And maybe commit here to one area that you know is your biggest area of lamenting and complaining and humming and hawing over, that you could start to practice bringing devoted care and attention to. Even in the smallest of ways, it's a practice like anything. May we build temples, great temples, out of ordinary things, to all of your practices and to each of your hearts. I bow. Thank you, as always, for being here, and I will see you next time. My name is Selena Garofino. I created my 200-hour, self-paced, totally virtual Yoga Alliance accredited teacher training and priced it at just $4.99 because I believe that everyone deserves access to excellence in education. Studying with me live streaming or in person can cost upwards of $2,500, and I want anyone that desires to pursue this path with me to be able to do so at an accessible rate from the comfort of their own home. Inside of this training, you will learn to cue with potency and efficacy. You'll learn to sequence powerfully vinyasa, hatha yoga classes, and so much more. You'll learn the art of adjustments, how to use props effectively and purposefully, not just saying to your students, grab a block if you need to. There are guest lecturers talking about topics like trauma-informed yoga, anti-racism in the yoga space, and so much more. When you're part of this program, you have access to bi-weekly calls with me for as long as you wish. Additionally, I host a special monthly event for all of my students and graduates. You have access to the recordings for as long as you wish. Inside of those classes, we talk about business of yoga. We go into deep pose studies. There's special meditation and asana classes, special storytelling classes, and so much more. Basically, I'm telling you that I've got you even after you graduate the program. We also have a private student forum that is not on social media, so you don't have to log into your Facebook to connect with other learners or to connect with me. If this sounds like something that you are interested in exploring, I invite you to head over to my website or send me a message so we can chat. Excellence in education is yours, and I am here to help you deepen your practice. Whether you just want to really dive into the heart of the yoga tradition or you're ready to take your passion for yoga out into the world, this is for you.